But it's like actually fun shit. You get in like with your friends and fucking wizarding each other.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the thing. Like, this is very funny actually, because I was on Twitter a couple of weeks ago, and
Mhm.
it was about fucking Star Atlas or whatever the
Mhm.
fuck they're called,
Mm.
and they raised like what, like 500 million fucking dollars, and they're using Lyra as their
Yeah.
base, and and
Yes.
one
Oh.
of their fucking
Oh.
I think someone from their team, I think it was like a community member of theirs or some shit like that,
Mhm.
and he came and was like, "Oh yeah, we actually do have an animator and a rigger, and you should know better than that because you have all this Web 2 experience, and you're talking shit about our game." And I'm like, first of all, you piece of fucking crap, you raised $500 million, and you're showcasing a fucking game that raised $500 million, and you're using Lyra for the basis of your movement. You didn't even have the human
Bro.
decency of like taking the
Bro.
game down and not showcasing that you're building everything on the basis of actual garbage. Like,
This is so
what the fuck? At least don't have the audacity to fucking try to sound smart when you're literally on the shittiest grounds of
Yeah,
trash territory. Like, it's
bro.
It was more.
insane.
It was more than $500 million. They had packs for 50 to 100K for spaceships at one point, and they
That's
had a lot of people that
disgusting.
were actually buying them.
Yeah, and they go around and they get called out for having Lyra as the basis of their movement and shit like that. And they're like,
Mhm.
"Oh yeah, no, that's completely fine, you know." Like, dude, first of
Mhm.
all,
Mhm.
you don't have any fucking excuse for showcasing a game utilizing Lyra. First of all,
Mhm.
because you're not free teenagers living on
Mhm.
fucking food stamps and
Yeah.
building a game on zero budget. You have over 500 million fucking dollars, because for
Yeah.
some reason people can't comprehend how much money that actually is. And
Mhm.
no, I just it's disgusting.
You're
I
right.
don't
You're
have any
right.
Play
fucking
Lyra. Play Lyra 2. Play Lyra. Lyra Croft. Lyra Craft. You know, need a game name.
It's no, it's
Bro.
just so sad. It just gets worse and worse every day. And like, it's even worse because like 97% of the shooters in Web3 right now are built on the basis of Lyra. And whenever they're confronted, they go like, "Oh yeah, but that's completely fine. We only raised $7 million."
Only.
Only.
Yeah,
Let's
only
go.
Only.
seven million
Only
dollars. What do you
fans.
mean we can't use Lyra?
Only
Only
fans.
$7 million. Whoa.
Yeah, imagine if any of these fucking people understood the concept of the fact that a
They
game
could
like
never.
Me-Side was built by two starving Russian kids.
They could never.
Imagine.
They could never. Okay. Wait. Is it live on Arena as well? Let me check it out. I hope
Well,
so.
if it were live on Arena, that would have summoned Jason. So there is a chance it is not live on Arena unless Jason actively
Oh, it's live. It's
refuses
live.
to.
Let's go.
Then
No, Jason's gonna join in a few minutes. Coming week in
I was
probably.
just about to say, then if it's live, then Jason actively refuses to be summoned. He's busy elsewhere.
Okay. Um,
Oh.
why market dropped down so bad? Like I'm minus how much percent?
I play Repo. I don't
I,
fuck
I
about the
haven't been
drop of
I haven't
market.
been following today, but I know there was a lot of stuff happening in the US today. I know
Hmm.
that there was some stuff happening in Germany as well.
Oh, what's going on in Germany? Wait, hold on.
I know
My
India
some.
versus Pakistan war as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, right.
Oh
My
yeah,
portfolio
true.
is down
There's a war as
6%.
well.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jason is
funnily
here.
enough, I had a short on Bitcoin, but I entered the I actually entered it at a pretty shitty level. I entered the short at 94K, And I was like, okay, I'm just closing it here. I closed it at the bottom of this candle all the way down on 93K, and I'm gonna wait to see exactly what happens with the market. Oh, there we go. There's Jason.
you for
Speaking of
calling.
Jason, and there he go. He was just, I was like ranting about my short, and he was just sitting there waiting for me to stop speaking.
Hey guys,
Yeah. Hello,
Welcome,
hello,
Jason.
Jason. How's it going?
Jason.
good. How you doing?
we
Not,
were
not
basically
so great.
so while we were waiting for you, we basically went into this little story, I guess it could be, like discussing about, like, the state of web3 shooters right now. And yeah, like Jay was like, what's happening with the market? Why am I down on all my trades?
Really crazy. I'm just catching up myself.
Yeah, I'm down 6% in a day. So,
I'm
But-
down so much. I'm down 6%. That really does sound like a crypto trader.
In a day.
bro, sometimes
Volatility is crazy.
6% would mean a lot. Yeah, that's true. But how's it going with the arena, Jason? What's new? What's happening with the recent boy launch? How did it went? What do you think about the overall launch? And yeah, we'd love to hear.
Yeah,
from you.
no, things are really exciting. We just launched live streaming a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Getting some crazy traction, getting people from YouTube, Twitch, everyone heading over, and seeing a lot of tips. So people are really loving that. With crypto and with tips, you can have the money accessible right away. On some of these other platforms, you have to wait up to 30 days. And we only take 2% fees right now, which is way under market. So we think we're one of the few Web3 streaming services actually getting traction. And then what we are planning to launch very soon is Arena Launch and Arena Dex. So we'll have a native Dex and an ability to launch tokens and use all our social features. And we think that'll add a full sort of new element to this app. Like imagine you could launch a token and then tip, a huge stages host or a huge live streamer. Just like incredible possibilities there.
Wait, is
Actually,
it like
I do want to
PumFun?
ask something. I'm cutting through Jay for this one, since you actually did mention that the streaming app has been essentially live for a while. How does traction actually compare day one versus its current stage?
Well, I mean, it's like a lot of other features which are very hyped off the bat, and then it enters a period of like you find out who the consistent users are.
Yeah.
More people hear about it, and then you try to enhance the product. So I would say like it's probably fallen off since the very first day, but it's showing like steady growth overall. And as we kind of fix the bugs and add new features, we're expecting, like, I don't think we've seen anywhere near the peak use of this yet.
That's solid. That's very solid. And Jave, go ahead, because I cut through what you wanted to say.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, do you think that you're launching on the arena? Is it like PumFun but on the arena?
Yeah, I mean, there's a similar model there where it's like Pump Fun in the sense that this is a way for people to launch tokens in a sort quote unquote fair launch. There is a bonding curve. So this is getting away from the pre-sale meta, which we've seen on Avalanche. But what's different than Pump Fun is now Pump Fun is trying to add social features, it looks like. But we have these built in from day one, and we have these network effects. And we have this crazy flywheel with the Arena token. So we think that we add a lot of benefits for projects that something like Pump Fun might not offer. So there is definitely a lot of differentiators.
Yeah, I think it would make a lot of sense to have this product on the arena. And like, I'm curious here, by the way, like, what do you think overall about the recent pre-sales, about the pre-sale meta right now on the Avalanche and the future of it on Avalanche as well?
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts here. There's pros and cons to all pre-sales, and I'm happy to go into this. But what I think happened is that Ket was the first pre-sale, and that went amazingly well. And what that did was that brought a lot of projects that popped out of nowhere wanting to kind of ride off those coattails. And the thing is, I don't think the model is sustainable, because if you actually think about what a pre-sale is, you're taking the people who are most bullish on your project and you're giving them a super discounted price to buy ahead of time.
Yeah.
And that's great. But then the problem with all these projects is you need people who will buy on the market. You need the
Yeah,
secondary
exactly.
buyers. And once a project runs to like 100 million, like Wink and Blub did, each person that's selling is selling like 100 or 200K. So you need that much in new buyers stepping in just to keep the price where it's at.
Yep.
So there's like, it's not a sustainable model. The benefit of it is that you as a project get the money up front and you don't have to sell your tokens. Because that is the downside of a pump fund or an arena launch model is like, how do you raise funds as a project? Well, you have to own some of the supply and sell it. But so it solves that, but the rest of it is super hard to do. I think people are experimenting on ways that they can make it better. But I think the current model as we know it, because every project besides Ket kind of didn't end well from its peak. So I do think it's going away, and we're going to see a new wave come in, and I hope that's through the arena.
Yeah, I hope so too, and I'm really looking forward to how you guys will change the meta. And I'm pretty sure that you guys can set your own narrative because you're really big on Avalanche. Honestly, like I have participated almost in all of the Avalanche pre-sales, and like personally a big supporter of Avalanche. I think it kind of hurts, the whole Avalanche ecosystem right now with all those pre-sales, because it's just basically draining the liquidity out of the people, and they launch at high market cap, and then everyone dumps, on the people that are buying at the launch. So it looks pretty bad right now, but I really hope that it will change soon.
Yeah, I
And
was
like,
actually about to add to this as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of the cyclical nature of the market. It's nothing new. Like it's been happening. It's been like this ever since different chains have been popping left and right. Like when there's one specific runner on one specific chain that hasn't been getting massive attention from all the degens, like how Jason just mentioned, AVAX having Ket running, and then all these different projects popped up, out of nowhere. It's the same for everything. Like one chain comes in, they don't have any activity, suddenly they have one project launching, it does well, and then all the different people from the space are like, oh yeah, look at this, there's a lot of liquidity on that chain, these people just made so much money, and they're obviously gonna be essentially throwing it right back into the same ecosystem. So that's suddenly an ecosystem that's ripe for pre-sales, ripe for extraction specifically. And a lot of outsiders, they love coming in on that.
yeah,
It always happens the same. It really just comes down to is the chain active enough to actively be punishing the outsiders coming in, or does it simply die? And yeah, usually the tough chains, they basically they kick the outsiders out, and they just resume back normal activity, and the weaker chains, they just end up dying. But shouldn't be the case for AVAX.
And if you saw, it's a great point. And if you saw what happened here, which was a shame, Ket was launched at a very unique time because the Solana trenches were struggling. This was after, or this was kind of, forgot exactly when it launched, but I remember at the time very clearly, the Solana trenches were dead, and Ket, since it kind of made news around the industry, and people made so much, you saw a lot of people from Solana bridging over to Avalanche for the first time, super interested.
Yep.
The issue is that when they got here, there was no place. They were like, okay, where do we trade memes? Like a lot were joining the arena, but there weren't new launches happening. We didn't have arena launch ready. So all they could do was wait for the next pre-sale, which was Wink. And then, unfortunately, and then there was Blub after that. And, there was that whole shame-fi meta. But, ultimately, those projects ran to over 100 million, but dropped, 99%. And that actually hurt a lot of new people in Avalanche who, hopefully they're going to come back and give the chain a second chance. But that was the issue there, is that a lot of the newcomers got burnt on those next launches, unfortunately.
Yeah, because a lot of the people they bought basically at the top. Like for example, when Wink ran, initially it ran to 70 million, then it ran to 120, then 150, and basically after the Trump announced tariffs, it just been going down all the time.
Yeah.
And I think Cat actually launched it like it was end of November, December, somewhere around this time. And I'm really like curious. What do you think about the ShameFi meta overall? Do you think it's healthy for those tokens, for the communities of those tokens, or no?
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of it. Like, I get why they did it. I think the original Ket was the first to do it. I think there was some inspiration from what the arena was doing, except we do it in a different way. But I get why the project would do it. You have to find a way to kind of prevent just wholesale dumping.
Yeah,
And the reason these pre-sales are a little unique is there's no lockup or vesting on the
exactly.
so everyone gets these like freely unlocked tokens that they got super cheap, and then you need a way to like. So the question is, if you're not going to put a vesting schedule on them, how do you get people to not sell? And the way they chose to do it was by ShameFi board. So for people who don't know what that is, if you sold over 50% of your allocation, you would show up on this board and it would dox you. And the thought was like the community sentiment would like, make it so that you were shamed if you sold.
Yeah,
It would incentivize people to sell. I mean, it worked at first, I guess, like people were shaming everyone, and then it flipped.
yeah,
After a lot of these tokens crashed, people were like, if you didn't sell, that's actually more of a shame than if you did. So
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, I love the concept of ShameFi. In all full honesty, I am one of these people that other people hate, and this is kind of because of the fact that ShameFi basically came as a reactionary method, essentially,
Yeah.
exactly what Jason also said. And the problem really came down to the fact that it didn't necessarily become a solution because of the fact that people knew that, like, the natives from the ecosystem itself would be like, the hard dumpers. The problem came with the fact that outsiders started getting recruited, and as a way to, like, actually keep them in check and actually, like, not like, give them an advantage over everyone else and have them, like, running the show and then just dumping and never doing anything good. It came as the solution, like, keeping them a bit on a tighter leash. So when the whole, like, when the whole narrative went down and the whole narrative just started crashing, guess who, like, who the people who started, like, saying that ShameFi is bad, um actually were. And it was exactly these outsiders who were not from the ecosystem, who were coming from, like, from the Solana trenches and God knows what other places, and they felt targeted, and they finally had, like, the excuse of, yeah, look at that, you were shaming us and you were keeping us out of deals and it didn't work out for you. Like, it's actually pretty bad.
yeah, and that's another issue. Just to wrap this up, so I'll say one more issue with this model, but then I'll also say how we at the arena try to approach this. But one more issue with the pre-sale model was like the stuff I described before, but also the way that these projects were picking who to participate.
Exactly.
It was kind of like like a fraternity. It was like who you knew, and it became this like exclusive club. And I think that turned some people off. I know some more recent launches tried it a different way, like Boy the Bear, where the CEO of that, his name's CEO, he picked like 100 Boy Club members, and then they each picked people based on like grind fi. So like be loud about the project, and everyone had a chance to get in. So there's experiments on how you choose people, but it is very exclusive in nature. We at the arena, like, we take a different approach. I'm a huge fan of like leaderboards and transparency. I think that's a huge part of SocialFi, but we don't try to shame. There's two ways to approach it. You can like shame bad behavior, quote unquote, which in this case is like selling. Or the other way to do it is to reward good behavior. And if you look at what we do, it's a more positive approach where we like reward good behavior. So if you like, we could have done a ShameFi board where everyone who sells our airdrop, the arena token, we could just shame you. But instead of that, we did a whole champions leaderboard where we rewarded the people who staked. So if you stake, you get a higher rank, you earn more rewards. So that's another way to do it, which I think is like you want to incentivize good behavior, not like punish bad behavior. So that's how we try to do it over at the arena.
Yeah, I think it's the right approach, and like honestly, Looking at the Shenfai meta, I think it was a great meta, first of all. But the problem is here is that some of the people that were put on Shenfai board at different projects like Blob, Wing, Cat, not still some of them were included in the future pre-sales. So if already it was shown, that those people are not able to hold, then at least remove them from the future pre-sales, and that's
Yeah.
like, for example, Iowa is doing right now. So, but moving forward, what do you think overall is the next narrative on Avalanche, and what narrative you're trying to build with the arena?
Yeah. I mean, I think we're going to help shape the next narrative. And what I think we've done really well is we've really built out like the full scope of SocialFi. So we've built out, really strong social features and now the financial features that I discussed. But if you look at our flywheel that we've created, I think we're creating like a new meta, which is like, how can you support, like, how can everyone be aligned in a communal effort to push the chain forward? Right. And it's a lot like we've seen how toxic it's gotten recently. But if you look at the arena, like all these projects coexist. A lot of projects are becoming arena champions, which means they're buying the arena token and staking it. And what they're doing is they earn all the staking rewards and they then distribute that to their holders. But the staking rewards are based on the other projects in the ecosystem. So you're essentially earning rewards from all the other projects and distributing that to your holders. And everyone's kind of sharing in the upside of the ecosystem as a whole. And that's funneled through one social app, which is the arena. And I think like the reason I think this is going to be the next meta is because we're seeing people are fed up with the like exclusive private sales, this like the political nature of it. There's been a lot of fighting. And all that this is doing is it's destroying the chain. It's not bringing people together. So we need a shift in that narrative. I think the arena is the one to do this in a very uplifting way. So I think that's the next narrative. And then, of course, there'll be like different hot metas, like whether that's gaming or RWA or whatever comes up next that Avalanche is doing a great job in. But in terms of like the actual meta, I think it's what I just described.
Yeah, I agree here. And Eric Hammers, do you guys have any questions?
Not really a question. To me, it was really funny how the quote-unquote influencers who sold everything they had, kept virtue signaling, and tried to get the next coin. Like, to me, that screams zero shame.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's a lot of, and this is the thing, people would write in their application, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to hold it forever, I'm going to get you multi-chain exposure. And then they get the token, dump it immediately, move on.
It was
And then
always like that.
we get a repeat of the movie Gone in 60 seconds.
Yeah. And that money wasn't flowing for the most part. Like if you actually track this, that money wasn't flowing back into the ecosystem to support other projects. It was like being bridged off chain, or extracted away. So like that's the issue. Like Cat got so much press and liquidity over, which was great, but then it just followed up with these other like pre-sales that didn't end well. So it left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths, I feel.
Yeah, Hammers, do you have any questions? Because you've had your mic on.
Hey, Jason, can you hear me?
You're too loud. But we can
Oh,
hear.
let me make me lower. Okay, right now better, right?
Yeah, better.
So yeah, I've streamed before on Arena like 3 times off the grid and really enjoyed that community join. I showed them a lot of Easter eggs which no one shows before. But I have a question, an important one. I see like in general what making Arena and Abstract, they are grassroots right now content creators, and more content creators join Web3, which is awesome. But it's actually guys which have been here before, but they are right now evolving according needs, right? The question is, in which ways you going to attract Web2 guys here, which is the most hard question here. I've seen like some Web2 streamers, Web2 gaming streamers here, but not too much. And like, how you see this approach, how you see Web2 guys joining here when they have like audience formed on Twitch or whatever, and like how to work with this to onboard them in blockchain in this case.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I think we're doing a pretty good job of people finding out about this through word of mouth already. We just had a chef on who has 2 million YouTube subscribers, and he's cooking for the users here. We had a bunch of musicians. Um, we had all sorts of gaming streamers come on here, like not just off the grid, but across the board. I mean, um, I think like what we're doing well is like this narrative is reaching people that you could earn more here. It's available 24/7, 365 because it's crypto. You're getting charged less. And this is a new audience you could tap. And what we did, which was strategic, is we didn't limit it so you could only stream from the arena because we knew that that would have turned a lot of people off. You can cross stream. You can still stream on X, you can still stream on Twitch, but you could add the arena to that. And then we found people made a lot doing that on the arena. So then they just kind of start coming over more and more. We also have people on the team who are approaching. We have some big users of our app who are also big users of TikTok, Twitch, etc., and they're helping spread the word for us. So yeah, that's been the approach on the Web2 side. And as we add more and more features to this, because we're taking feedback, there's stuff we need to improve, there's bugs we need to fix. As we improve this better and better, then expect that to just keep growing, to be honest.
Yeah, and to follow up on that, I actually have another question because you guys are obviously competitors with Abstract, right? And the strategy here is kind of similar as well. Like they're trying to build out Web3 presence right now, with attracting like streamers, etc. on the Web3 side of things, and then in the future they will be attracting to Web2 traditional content creators. And the question is here that I have is like, how different you from the Abstract, and how much more you can offer to the people out there, compared to Abstract on the arena.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say like we're a direct competitor with Abstract. Abstract's an entire chain, or a layer two, and I think their first product was live streaming. So, but they are building out a whole consumer chain. I think we have some benefits, on the product itself. Maybe they do a few things that are better than us right now, but I do think like if you look at the total resources Abstract has and how big they're trying to be, versus like we're still like a smaller company. I think we've definitely outperformed
Yeah, for
relative
sure.
like where we should be. And I don't know, like I haven't looked deep into their metrics. Like they might have more streamers than us right now. The metrics might be a little higher, but we didn't pay anyone to stream on the arena. Everything you're seeing is organic, including the tips. We're not like orchestrating these like manufactured tips or anything. Not saying they are, but we're not. So I'm really kind of pleased with where we're at. And also, Abstract launched theirs, I think over a month ago. Ours is just a couple weeks old. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited for where we're at right now.
Yeah, me too. Like, and I'm really impressed by the amount of tips that you guys are getting on the arena. Like, how many people are tipping other streamers? Like, even compared to Abstract. Like, as far as I remember, Abstract has like 3 million or so in tips. You guys have over 9 million, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember the
We have
exact
over
numbers.
10 million total tips sent, but that includes like before streaming. So
Yeah.
they're probably outperforming us in streaming, but like we got tons of tips in stages and just for general users before these
Yeah.
features.
Yeah, I think it's really cool though. And like on the future features on the arena, I'm really curious. Like, are you guys going to add more aspect to the social media itself? Like, for example, similar to Instagram Reels or TikTok, etc. Like those kind of stuff on the arena.
Yeah. I mean, we want to really make a big push around the social features after we get the Arena Dex and Arena launch out. That includes becoming a mobile app. not just a web app. That includes um, better discoverability. So like your content can be discovered, which is an issue for us right now. And then, yeah, more like TikTok or Instagram like features, um, some doom scrolling stuff, the ability to make threads. We have a whole list of like things we need to improve on the social side, which that's going to be a big focus of ours after. For us, it was like get these big features out and then really focus on the quality of life and the social stuff. That makes this a very desirable app for people.
Yeah, talking about the discoverability, by the way, and overall, like the arena algorithm. Because me personally, I've been posting on all the platforms, YouTube, Twitter. Now I'm exploring CoinMarketCap as well, and I'm looking at the algorithm. For example, I really hate the algorithm of Twitter because it really requires to do all of the shit posting, replying to the dumb tweets just for the sake of the algo that you have certain amount of replies per day so that your tweet gets discovered more. So the question here for the new people that are coming to their arena and they want to grow their channel, what are the main points of your algorithm and how is it different from the other platform like CoinMarketCap, which is in the crypto, like they have social media, or Twitter, which is more traditional focus?
Yeah, I mean, so our algo is it needs a lot of improvement, but we have two for the global feed. We have two. Well, first off, just to take a step back, when you first join the arena, you kind of auto follow the top 100 accounts as part of it. So that's something. And then we just added dual posting, so you can post from the arena to X, which broadened the reach a bit. But yeah, our algo is broken into two sections on the timeline. There's the for you, sorry, there's the following, which is just based off of who you follow. So if I followed any of you guys, I would see your content or anything you reposted, but I have to be following you. And then the other side is trending. And the trending tab is based on a few different factors to show up there, how much engagement it has, how recently it's been posted, a few things, a few tweaks we made to that. So it's still really basic. And now we're going to be like integrating AI and filters and preferences and really trying to make more bespoke solutions so that you as a user can have a more custom experience and really be kind of engaging in the content you want. And then in terms of stages and live streaming, we call this stuff live. So live is either stages, which is our version of spaces, or live streaming. For these, we just filter it based on how many listeners or viewers it has. So the most listeners or viewers are up top, and then it goes down in order. We're going to make that more advanced as well. But that's kind of what we have so far until we could roll out our next releases.
Gotcha. And talking about like for you page, how to get into others for you pages? Because is there like any impact from replies to other people on your algorithm and how you get discovered on the feed of others?
Yeah, I mean, it's really like there's not really a for you. It's following who you're following, and then like trending. And the trending is the same for everyone. That's the issue right now. So everyone has the same trending tab. So there's nothing that's personalized currently. Well, it is personalized for the following, like who you're following. But it's not like personalized to show content that you prefer from someone you don't follow yet. But there is a really good notification system. So like you're notified constantly in the app whenever actions happen, when you're tipped, when someone replies to your post, when they buy your ticket, all these things, when they follow you, all these things you get a notification for, which has been very effective for us.
Gotcha. Sounds great. Appreciate you so much, and I'm sure it will help a lot of people come into to the arena to understand the algo more. And looking forward to you guys integrating like the AI analysis features for finding out who to get on their for you page as well. Andres on Hammers, Eric, do you have any additional questions?
I have
Yeah.
wanna ask about something more deep in streams, right? So When community get to know stream what they wanna also engage with influencer, right? So if there are any ideas like implementing different tips things or interaction things with community beside just token tip or something like this, like I don't know, for
Yeah,
deep engagement, like something like
yeah,
more deep
yeah.
than just tip.
Yeah, it's a great question. We have more coming out on that. So right now, you could also, well, one of the important features with tickets, it's not fully live yet for streaming, but you are able to ticket gate stages or streams, which means like, and we will add badge gating. So that means like you can have a community only stage or live stream gated on chain. That's cool. But then we have more interactive ways coming up where there'll be animations for the tipping and stuff where you can actually directly like uh, let's say have dual streaming and battles and things like this. So it is going to be more engaging and there'll be more things to do than just sort of commenting and tipping. But the feature just came out, so like now we gotta fix the bugs, make sure it's working, and then we can start adding these new features.
Let's
Gotcha.
go, excited to see.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great.
I actually had a question as well. This is actually unrelated to the whole streaming side of things and the social things. It's more related to the whole concept of essentially like building pump fun onto AVAX. Are you actually worried of the potential downsides that pump fun actually went through? Like overall, like the increase of let's just put it like the increase of criminality onto Solana and stuff like that. Like, what would be your solutions to combating these problems?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's another really good question. Like, so it's like philosophically, like, Pump Fund did something amazing, which was they allowed anyone to be able to launch a token. And before Pump Fund, if you wanted to launch a token, if you guys remember previous cycles, you had to get your own liquidity. So you needed a lot of money. You needed to find a dev. You needed to lock that liquidity. You needed to know how to launch a smart contract. You needed to worry about the snipers. There were so many steps that so few people in the world could actually launch one. What Pump Fund did is they made that accessible for anyone in the world. With a few clicks, you could upload name the token, upload a picture, and boom. And this is really like monetizing, like creativity in a way. Now, obviously that comes with downsides too, and there's been a lot of it that's been misused. And you saw with their early social features, like when they rolled out live streaming, it was a nightmare. So like so it does come down to a philosophical like question: is the tech itself bad, or is it like how people are using it? And if that's the case, should we not even offer it? Or if it could be a net benefit, like should we? And our whole thing is like the arena allows you to earn more and sort of express your creativity, right? It's a social network where you could earn in ways you can't elsewhere. Part of that is launching a project. And if people are going to launch these tokens anyway, we prefer they do it on the arena where you could get access to a lot of things you can't on Pump Fun. So if you launch on Pump Fun, you still need to set up a separate Twitter or X account. You need to set up a Telegram, maybe an X community, right? Then the thing trades on a DEX. There's so many different things you need to do to manage this. In the arena, you have a community there already. You could use our social features. You could become a tipping token and tip everyone. You could get badges. You could become an official community, right? And then your token, once it graduates, a certain percentage goes to all the arena champions. So the other big stakers of our platform who support the Avalanche ecosystem are all getting your tokens automatically, and they get to push it. It's a really cool model. And we think that, like, of course, there could be downsides to this. It's probably going to make the app a little messier. I'm sure there'll be a lot of projects that don't do well, or there'll be some maybe that have bad intentions. But this is connected. If you launch in the app, it's connected to your social identity and your reputation. So if you care about that, you're not going to launch a rug. And overall, like, we think that this is one tool people will really want to use. And you don't have to. right? You can use this, you can trade tokens, you could launch them, or you could just use the social features we have. You could just keep streaming, using stages, talking to people. It's really up to the user. But we think this is a good tool for people to have. And then, hopefully it's used in the correct way.
Yeah, I have a question. Like, I'm actually getting really excited when I hear you talking about all these features coming to our arena because, like, you guys not building just one thing specifically. You besides social media, you have streaming. Besides streaming, you're launching decks, you're launching Launchpad, etc. So, are you not scared? You know, launching so many different features when you have already streaming and some other aspects of the platform and getting like focused on one to another thing and setting the priorities right.
No, not at all. Some people might be like, you're doing too many things, like focus on one thing. We disagree. We believe, and I said this from day one about the vision. The vision is like, we joke, but it's serious. There's no escape from this app. This is supposed to be the one-stop shop for all your social and sort of Web3 financial needs. You shouldn't have to tweet on X, go trade on this DEX, go talk to people on Telegram, go join a Discord, right? We believe that this should be centralized in one place where you have a wallet attached to you and you can earn and be rewarded for your content creation. And for us to do this, like, we want to attract all different types of content creators. If all we do is one feature, like when we took this app over, okay, when this app was acquired in November 2023, the only thing you could do was write on a global feed. You could make a post. You could tip someone in just AVAX, not any other meme coin, and you could buy or sell their whole ticket. That was it. Now you can buy and sell fraction of a ticket. You can tip in any meme coin. You could get unique badges based on your on-chain activity. You could stake a token and become a champion and get rewarded. You can do a stage with hundreds of people. You can do a live stream. We've expanded this so much to give you every tool you could ever want as a content creator. And now with our next releases, you could even launch a token and trade tokens in the app without having to leave. So no, we don't agree in the approach of like try to just do one thing. It works for a lot of businesses. A lot of times that's the right advice. Like, don't try to do all these things. Try to focus on one thing and do it well. But for us, with our vision of what a SocialFi app should be, it needs to have all these tools and all these options for people to care about it. And they get to choose. The user gets to choose how they monetize. Okay. It's not one thing, just people buying and selling your ticket. No, you can monetize now in like tons of different ways. And that's what we wanted to create.
Yep. Yeah, I'm really excited about this, guys. And wait, you're really building important tools for everyone out there, especially like on the Web3 side of things. And talking about the decks, I'm really curious, like, how are you gonna attract, people outside of the Avalanche chain? Is it more like about the word of mouth and like, people on the Avalanche initially started launching their own tokens? Or are you gonna have, some different strategy? Because like, talking about how people started noticing more stuff happening on Avalanche is basically, from the recent month, obviously because of the cat and win, because of the pre-sales, of their strategy, how they were attracting people outside of the chains, and then everyone was posting about the Avalanche to get, basically pre-sale access to all their future tokens. But how is it gonna happen for the arena decks? Because like PalmFund, initially most of the people were already trading some Solana tokens on their Solana. Sorry for the tweak. And basically, they just made it easier for everyone to trade out there. But so far, we have not seen much activity lately of the different people launching tokens on Avalanche. And the questions here, how to actually attract more people launching tokens on the arena decks.
Yeah, that's going to come down to a big BD effort, which we're already doing. We're attracting, I think, some of the top projects that we know of that are coming up to want to launch an arena. And I think it's going to require a new meta, which we talked about earlier, which is kind of shying away from just the pre-sales and offering a way for anyone to fair launch a token. There's not really, like one central platform on Avalanche right now where people can do that, or where a lot of people are doing it daily, I should say. And what we think is that we're going to be marketing the benefits of launching on the arena very, very hard. And even if this isn't the like most popular feature from day one, as more liquidity comes onto Avalanche, as the bull market comes back, we envision a lot of projects seeing the benefits here. You're not one of a million tokens on Solana that needs to hope for buy-in. You're one of, you get to really leverage what the arena offers and get success. And we think that that's going to spread through a combination of word of mouth, some tokens doing well, some strategic marketing. This all kind of comes into play. But, I do want to say, like, obviously we hope this like goes viral right away. But for people who don't realize, like, Pump Fun was out for months before it became big, right? Like, it wasn't like day one Pump Fun just had every token launching. It took like a lot of months with not a lot of users. But then people found out about it and we saw what happened. And that happens with a lot of projects or a lot of features in Web3. It's like it doesn't always happen right away. It's like as the feature's out there, you keep marketing it, you keep improving it. And most importantly, for something like a token launcher, you need liquidity back in the ecosystem. You need tokens going up. You need it to be a bull market. You need new people coming in. And I'm just glad that we're going to have this available for whoever wants to use it in the future.
Yeah, really excited about this as well. And I have another question. How you are helping out, the projects that are launching tokens on Avalanche and at this time? In the meantime, while you don't have, the arena decks, because basically all the tokens that have launched from the past, like Boy, Wink, Cat, some other ones. Most of the people like on the arena, on the leaderboards, ticket holders, etc., they were getting some tokens. And my questions here, like, are you as an arena platform, are you helping out in some kind of way to those projects launching their tokens on the Avalanche, or is it more just distributing the allocations to active participants on the arena?
No, that's one aspect of it, which, as you said, we've managed to get airdrops for the arena champions for all these big launches. None of these happened directly in the arena, but we still got that for, I think, every major launch. So that's number one. But no, we feel we're providing a lot of value for these projects beyond that. First off, almost all of them have arena accounts, and people are trading their, they gave away pre-sale spots to ticket holders. People are trading their tickets. The projects are earning revenue from the tickets being traded. They're able to market to the arena community, which is super important, as well as the broader X community. Like you mentioned, it's not just us giving out airdrops to the champions. It's also a lot of the projects are becoming champions themselves, which means they're taking revenue that they've earned. They're buying arena token and they're staking it. And then they're earning rewards. So it's not just individuals that are champions anymore. It's actually projects. And when they get the rewards each week, they're distributing it to their holders. That's a huge value add, we feel, because if you're a project, it's very hard for you to get all these rewards. We're able to get them because, we're a platform and we're able to get all these different airdrops and give out yield. But if you're a project, it's really hard for you to go out and get all access to all these pre-sales yourself. So it's a huge value add for them to be able to offer this utility. And then another thing they're doing, this is not just for new projects, but existing projects as well. They get dynamic badges. What is a dynamic badge? A dynamic badge is a badge on your profile where there's a certain requirement. So maybe it's you need to hold this many tokens. If you hold enough tokens, you keep the badge. But if you sell and you have below the requirement, you lose it. And this is a really valuable tool for a project because you could incentivize holders. Imagine you say all of our badge holders are going to get Arena Champions rewards, or they're going to get access to this perk or this perk. And now it's like there's a reason for people to hold your token, get a dynamic badge, and then get the value that you could offer. So we've seen a ton of dynamic badges come up, a ton of reasons that existing projects want to use Arena. And that's before Arena Dex and Arena Launch even come out yet.
What do you think are going to be the biggest challenges with the launch launch pads and decks in the coming time?
The biggest challenge is, I think one of them is something you brought up earlier, which is like, like how do we keep the integrity of this app? So you don't want it becoming like too messy, like Pump Fun, and you don't want it kind of ruining the experience of the other content creators who might not be trading these tokens. So that's something we're going to really focus on. Like, how do we make sure it stays clean and kind of still is a valuable place for people to use, even if they're not trading or launching tokens? I think that's a key one. The second one is like, yeah, there's, a lot of competition with other dexes. And, we have to keep showing. And also, like, Avalanche as a chain doesn't have the most liquidity right now. So like we have to kind of show the benefits to teams of launching here, because it's not just Avalanche. If all that happens is it's just Avalanche people launching these tokens, that's a limited market. We need people from other chains to want to come over, use the arena, and launch a project. And for that to happen, they need to think that this is better than launching on Pump Fun and Solana, for example. So I think attracting, the best projects on a BD side is going to be a challenge. And then keeping the app sort of clean and desirable to use will be another challenge that we might face.
Actually, I do have a question following this specific statement that you just had. Since obviously you are quite dependent on how the AVAX ecosystem as a whole performs, what exactly are your general initiatives that you're taking together with the AVAX team?
Yeah, I mean, we are getting, some support. I think Avalanche sees the benefit of like something like the arena really working in terms of bringing new people on chain, winning at the social layer. We all know how valuable that is. And we're still like the top social crypto app. After all this time, we're still around. We're not just around, we're growing. So I think Avalanche as a chain sees the benefit of something like the arena. And, we're strategizing the right ways to collaborate with them and to do meaningful campaigns that can, keep making this app very desirable for people to use. So Avalanche has been great in supporting us, and we're going to think of, really cool ways to keep working with them. But I'm not going to give any like really specific direct things just yet.
Yeah, I mean, going into the specifics is a bit problematic sometimes, so that's why I basically asked for for the surface stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds great. And Eric Hammers, do you have anything to add?
Yep, I just want to ask Jason, what is your favorite top 3 games you played ever, just to enjoy and chill? Just interesting as a gamer perspective.
Oh, I'm not a huge gamer. I used to play Nintendo 64 way back in the day, and I loved like 007 and some of the old school like Donkey Kong games and stuff like that. I also with Xbox used to play a lot of the basketball games, but I haven't played a lot of the newer games. I heard Off the Grid is great. Just kind of busy these days, focused on other things.
Understandable.
But
I mean, since you mentioned you're not a gamer, just what exactly are your other hobbies? Walk us through your hobbies.
I'm a builder, sir.
You have no hobbies.
My hobby is
the curse of building.
No,
Curse of building, yeah.
I kind of do this stuff. It consumes most of my time, so I don't really do too much else. I mean, I'm a big foodie. I love a good meal. Travel a lot because of crypto. Get to go to a lot of places, so love traveling.
Yeah.
But in terms of the day to day, I'm not really off doing too many hobbies. I'm mostly focused on building the company up.
I remember this episode from Shark Tank where the guy, teenager guy, came in that launched his donuts store or something like this, and his day is fully doing the tasks between the recess during the in the college. And starting working from 4:30 a.m. and interviewers ask him, when you're having fun, it is fun, building, it is fun.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, bullish. The founder and the team having no hobbies beside whatever they're building is bullish.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
that's
think
true.
it is bullish. I mean, we're not going to get distracted by things. We're always, and like sometimes the community, if they don't hear from me for a bit, will get like a little antsy. But I'm like,
Yeah,
what are you actually worried about? Like I'm not off vacationing. Like
yeah,
actually, I promise you, if you don't hear from me, it's because we're getting ready for the next feature or doing
bro.
something else big in the background. So it's just funny.
Yeah, I'm not gonna name names, but I remember I don't like the projects that are taking the vacation right after they launch something. This is the hugest red flag for me.
It's it, it's
And
it's it's not a great look. I'll tell you
yeah,
that much.
Hey
yeah.
guys, we just raised $20 million, and the product is kind of failing. But look at this fucking Lamborghini I just bought.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like you're not even making people wonder where the money for that vacation came from. Like you just you just
Yeah.
raised, and it's
Yeah.
like
It's really
especially
correct.
like the first few days after a launch is like when you have to be the most active and like
Yeah,
establish
exactly.
the most. You're kind of like setting the tone for the project, and then
Y-
like if you're like not posting and like off doing something, it's like it's really not a good look. But I'm not gonna speak bad about any projects or anything
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah, because you gotta retain the users that came after the launch, and that's the most important time. And I really appreciate you for this discussion, for this interview. I just have, really huge respect to you as the CEO, of the arena, because you get to show up to a lot of different spaces, stages, interviews, etc., while building, two products basically at the same time and working on the arena. And I can't even imagine how you have time for this. But it really means a lot to the people, to the communities, because they actually see, the team building and they're delivering the updates to the community. So I appreciate you so much for joining this interview.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna clip some, moments from this interview and post it on the socials as well. And I think it was really interesting. And personally, for me, I've learned a lot because as I came, to the arena, I've had a lot of different questions about the algorithm, how to grow as a content creator, etc. And now it gives me more direction, more understanding in which direction I should move. And hope to have more sessions like this in the future, or have stages with the other speakers as well. And looking forward to the decks, to the launch pad, and all the things that you guys building. And looking forward to you guys changing the narrative of the Avalanche in the better direction.
I appreciate it, Ava. It was great to join. I know we've been trying to put this together for a bit, so thanks for having me. Always a pleasure. This was cross streamed on the arena as well, right?
Yeah, right.
Great.
We have 20 viewers on the arena right now, so not bad for the first stream, for the first
Oh
interview.
yeah, yeah. Well, if I should have reposted this on the arena, but
Yeah, no
um,
problem. It's okay.
definitely not bad. I hope to see you guys doing most of your streams there. I think you'll like it a lot.
It's actually funny because when we had the previous interview with the arena, I basically told Jave, "Hey, they're launching their streaming. I want us to only be streaming on the arena." And he was like, "Yeah, but I kind of want to go cross-platform." I was like, "No, only on the arena."
Yeah,
Yeah,
we had a gaming stream
let's
on the
go.
arena.
There's no
Yeah,
escape. I mean, that's the goal. The goal is like these get to a point where like you don't want to stream anywhere else. Maybe that's ambitious right now because we don't have the network effects. But
yeah,
like, if we have a better product and you're earning more, like why? And we have like the network effects, we have the viewers. Why would you actually want to go anywhere else? Um, because once again, the key with the arena is you're getting tipped in crypto. We're only taking 2%, and you get access to it right away. And we have
mhm,
an integration with MoonPay coming out. It's almost ready, where you could then swap it and cash out directly to your bank from the app. So you don't have to wait 30 days to get your money. We're not taking 50%. like some other platforms. So that's the goal, that we get it to that level.
Yeah, let's go. And actually, one last question. So basically, looking at the other platforms, so like Twitter, they have their basically PPC ads campaigns. CoinMarketCap, they have PPC ads campaigns as well for the discoverability for other projects. Are you planning to launch something like this in the coming future for the arena as well, for the projects or people to promote themselves to to pay for the ads?
Yeah, there's already a really cool ad model, and it wasn't built by us. It was built by one of the projects in the arena called Cast 3, and it's in the App Store. And what's really cool about this is it's decentralized advertising. So essentially, you can put a price on your post or your live stream or your stage. You can say, like, I will give out this much money for you promoting this. And people can choose to do that and then get rewarded based on what you're willing to pay. So it's a really cool thing, but we will be doing more around monetizing ad space. And we're doing something now where certain projects we're allowing them to send out notifications to every arena user, about like an upcoming launch or something. And this is something people want to pay for. So this is the next stage, is like get this to be as big as possible, and then make this desirable for people to want to advertise their project.
Yeah, I think
For
it's
themselves.
gonna be huge. Yeah, I'm gonna use the arena ads when they're live for sure, because I wanted to advertise my podcast. But yeah, appreciate you so much, Jason. Again, looking forward to all the things happening on the arena, and so yeah, see you next time.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. See you on the arena.
You're on, Jason. Thanks for being
See you
here.
on the arena.
Bye,
Thank you.
guys.
Bye.
See
Bye.
you.